Hello, I'm Rupal, Rajani. Welcome to Rupal's Chatty Women.
I'm Rupa, and today we're going to be talking about #Padman Challenge.
Hi, I'm Priti, and we're talking about the menopause today. So if you have any questions, fire away.
And I'm Linda Harwood, I'm a practice nurse. I'm going to be talking about cervical smears, screening, and why some people don't come for their smears. So any questions, please fire away and we'll do our best to answer them.
So plenty to talk about. #women's health, I think, today is the subject, really. 3 different topics. Love your thoughts in the comment section. And if you want to share any of your experiences on the menopause of getting a smear test or the Padman challenge, then we'd love your thoughts today. Should we start off with that? Should we start off with Padman? If you are a fan of Bollywood films, you'll certainly know about this up-and-coming film, which is based on a true story of a guy in India who has come up with a great way of making cheap sanitary towels, so it is available to women across not only India, but it's something that's going to be rolled out into other countries as well. It's encouraged lots of conversation around women's health, hasn't it, Linda?
Yes,
really?
yeah, it has. And also recently in the news there's been other articles about people in the UK not being able to afford their own sanitary products as well. So, yeah, lots going on there.
We'll talk about your experiences in Kenya, because you've
That's right,
sort of lived in Kenya, haven't you?
Not lived, but visited several times and been in Nairobi and talked about women's health and issues there. Again, because sanitation, toilets, there's all sorts of problems for the women there and for the teenagers, for the girls having their periods and not being able to go to school because they haven't got the products to use. And it's really difficult. And again, people don't like to talk about it. It's embarrassing for girls that if they haven't got pads or if they're wearing light coloured uniforms, if they have a leak, it's embarrassing. So youngsters, girls, are missing school because they haven't got the products that they need.
And that's in a supposed third world country, but it's still happening in first world countries. It's still happening in places like the UK as well as the USA, Australia, because of the level of poverty. But also there's, again, culturally there's a level of taboo linked to being on your period. I mean, like, if we go back to our school days when we were younger, it's like, she's on her period, she smells.
Yeah.
Actually, with good personal hygiene, no, you don't.
No.
But it's this whole mindset that people have of this period being like a taboo subject. And that's why, going back to something like the, Padman, it's such a good film, I think, for us, for all of us to go and watch, because in India, being on your period is considered, or in the Asian community, being on your period is considered a really sort of like dirty thing. It's considered taboo. It means that you're impure for that 1 week that you're bleeding. And, the whole story behind Padman was that he saw the plight that a lot of women in the villages were going through and wanted to do something about it. And he was ostracised by friends, by family, his wife, but he still persevered and created this. And he is one of the largest providers of sanitary towels for women. And, the reach is there. But why, in 2018, is this still an issue?
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think going back to the UK, the homelessness, there's a big drive to actually provide sanitary packs for homeless people, asylum seekers, etc. We've got a few friends who actually gather all these packs for them, and they go and distribute them. So unfortunately, it's whilst it's developed in the first world as we could know it, it's still quite very, very prominent. And affordability, I think, is the other factor.
I think that's a big issue in this country, isn't it? Affordability also, and talking about taking off the tax off it, because actually, it's not a beauty product.
It's not. It's an essential.
One of the joys of being in the menopause, you don't need them anymore.
Which is something we're going to talk about in a few minutes' time. But I'd love your thoughts on the Padman challenge. If you type in #Padman challenge, you will see what they're doing. The idea is the inventor of the sanitary towels there in India and the way of making them. He's encouraged as many people, stars, celebrities, that sort of thing, to take a photograph of themselves holding a sanitary towel to say, look, it's not taboo, it's not dirty, it's absolutely fine, you know, talking about it. There's been quite a lot of criticism about it actually online. You know, some people saying, well, actually, this is just a pure publicity stunt for the film. But for me, I don't know about anybody else, but I think actually it's bringing up a social issue that needs to be heard.
Well, it does. And, you know, looking at it, saying, okay, you know what, if it is a publicity stunt for the film, it's a genius publicity stunt, because not only is it getting publicity for the film, it's actually creating an awareness out in the world. So, do you know what? At the end of the day, they're making a film. Of course they're going to publicise it. Let's you know, embrace that and say, good on you. But they're actually advertising it with a social conscience. And that's the most important thing. And, you know, I remember when we were younger, you know, my brother has grown up with, you know, a household full of women. And so from a very young age, he didn't have an issue, because we would actually send him to the shop and say, you know, Ash, can you just go and get our Dr. White's for us? He was like, okay. And he would go and get them. And he's never had an issue. Well, you say that, but you know what? He's never had an issue. He's never been embarrassed. And I think that's actually made him a much better man, because he has understood what women go through.
Actually, having said that, I think my son's also the same. He's 21, so he's grown up in our household. But he's quite happy to go and buy, you know, sanitary towels and things for us.
I have to say, I have to admit though, when I've been shopping, same with the other half occasionally, I have been quite embarrassed to put the sanitary towels, you know, that I purchased onto the counter, and I do look around going, oh, you know, I wonder who's looking. You know, I felt slightly uncomfortable, slightly uneasy about it over the years.
It's interesting though.
Why? I don't know, because it's quite personal.
It's private, isn't it? It's
I challenge that. It's not just a personal thing. It's also something that happens to 51% of the population. Therefore, it should be a public thing as well.
I definitely agree.
It's a celebration of the fact that you have that ability to make life, even if you choose not to.
That's true.
That's the mystery voice, by the way. Mystery voice. Do you want to say hello to? Do we want to say hello to a few people that are watching?
We've got Mike Pollock, Missy Sharma. We've got Nidhi. We've got.
I'm watching myself.
Natalie's got a point. Sanitary products shouldn't be so expensive. Can't help. Can't help it, we need it.
Agreed.
Lee Spencer's watching, and there's a few others. Angela Thompson as well.
And Bijal as well. Nice to have you on board, Mark. Thank you for the thumbs up. If you like what you see, what you hear, make sure you use the emoticons. Make sure you share the video as well. So my guests today on Rupal's Chatty Women,
Rupal,
Priti,
Linda.
So we're talking about the Padman challenge. Love your thoughts on that. We'd also love your thoughts on the menopause. There's been so much conversation. Thank you for all the likes across the screen. Good to have you on board. There's been so much conversation about the menopause in recent weeks. I've heard loads on the radio, particularly about whether it's still a taboo subject. How you were treated if you were on the menopause at work, and of course in this week we've heard about crying rooms that have been introduced by Nottinghamshire Police. Is that patronising, or are they actually trying to do us, us women who are going through that, a favour? Let's talk quickly then about Priti. You've been through it.
Yeah. And I'm just sitting here sweating away. I started my menopause very early on, actually. I think it's about 43 when I was going through it. I'm 54 now, so I don't mind telling anybody that. But I kind of had the really hot... I mean, I'm a hot-blooded person already anyway, so it was even worse when I did go through the menopause, so to speak. I just felt hot. I don't know if I felt irritated, but I couldn't... I didn't know if I did. I probably did. My ex-husband probably thought so as well, I'm sure. I think it's just something that you've got to either take it on board. You're going through the menopause, so what? It's early on, but it's... Yeah, you do get the hot flushes, you get your periods are very intermittent, but you do get heavy periods. I mean, I did, certainly. I was very, very heavy all the time. Then they stopped for a while, and then they came back again.
Yeah.
So there is a phase that you go through with menopause, and Linda, being the medical expert, will probably be able to tell you this, that, there is a cycle, isn't there?
There is,
that
and,
one
and
goes
it's
through.
like young women starting with their periods. It can be very different. Some girls sail through their periods, sail through everything, no problems at all. Whereas other people have real difficulties, heavy periods, long gaps between, small cycle, big cycle. And again, with the menopause, you were very young starting your
I was
menopause.
very young, yes.
And then other women can still be in their mid-50s. So it's when people say, well, when does it start? When does it finish? How long's a piece of string?
Yeah.
You do get a vast...
Is there a typical sort of amount of time that a woman would go through her menopause for?
The average age is sort of in early 50s, 52 on that. But as I say, it can get them as in early 40s. Sometimes even younger, and they need to be looked at medically because sometimes a very early menopause you might need the HRT to help protect your bones because of early menopause, osteoporosis, things like that needs to be looked at.
But HRT, hormone replacement therapy, isn't sort of offered immediately to all women. Explain why.
Not. Because hormone replacement is like the pill. There are contraindications to it. So if people have migraines or if they're high blood pressure, there's cardiovascular heart risks to it. So it isn't one size fits all like a lot of things. So each person does have to be assessed individually to say, yeah, this would work for you, and there's different strengths of HRT as well. So, and sometimes it's not just tablets, it can be patches, and also there's lovely things like pessaries, there's creams, gels. There are different things, and that's the thing. So if you can't, if you don't get on with one GP, because there are very different strong views about what people should and shouldn't do. So sometimes if you don't have joy going and getting HRT, sometimes it's worth persevering. Read up the information, go armed with information when you go to visit your GP if you need to see your GP.
Here's a question though about, we're talking about the HRT, because I know there's been a number of cases where they talk about the synthetic HRT or the animal-derived HRT and the different side effects. We've had people who were on HRT who literally went from being very sort of like olive skin to literally changing skin colour. Some people have had goiters develop in their thyroid. Right. What about actually looking at things like ginkgo biloba or any of the herbal alternatives?
Absolutely there are, and all for it, and for soya, and looking at alternatives, because if you can't have the chemical hormone replacement, then you do have to work with what you can. Avoid caffeine, be cool at night, as us drinking our coffees, avoid alcohol, it's being as healthy as you can, eating a healthy diet. There's lots of things that we can do to help ourselves.
Natalie's got a couple of points for us as well, Mr. Voice.
Okay, she said that 18 months ago she had a hysterectomy and HRT was brilliant. Yeah. She's also said HRT has helped my migraines, and I know there's a small risk of breast cancer. I think it's worth it.
If you're going through it, or you're perhaps perimenopausal, you can explain that to us in just a moment. So this is pre-menopausal, and there are symptoms to that, as you and I can both, I think, relate to, and we'll explain that in a few moments' time. Then we'd love your thoughts. And please make sure you share this video. We're concentrating on women's health on Rupal's Chatty Women today. We have a practice nurse with us. We have somebody who has been through the menopause, and I think there's two of us here that are perimenopausal. Guys as well, we'd love your thoughts on the subject of Padman, the Padman challenge. And Lee, it is PADMAN, Padman challenge. So that's the hashtag. If you're wondering, we were talking about the sanitary towels and the taboo around it, and the social challenges. Particularly in India. It's a film that was released, will be released very soon, actually.
Okay. Well, here's actually one that we challenge any of our male viewers to participate in the Padman challenge. Share your photo on Rupal's Chatty Women, Chatty Women, with the hashtag Padman challenge, holding a sanitary towel or a Tampax, Do it. Show that support for all the women out there that are going through the periods every month.
Let's see if we can get anybody to do that before the end of the show.
That's a good idea. Good idea.
Right, because we're gonna chat for a little bit longer than normal. But if you dare to take a picture with a sanitary towel in your hand and post it in the comment section, that would be amazing. In fact, we should do one at the end of the show.
We dare you to do it.
Shouldn't we?
Yeah. We will be doing.
We'll do that at the end of the show.
Find us one, quick.
We need to get some. Yeah, we'll send her off in
I'll run off in a minute.
Instead, yeah.
But thank you, Anjali. Thank you, Naresh. Thank you, Nisha. There's Laurie. Lots of you watching. Natalie says get the other half to do it. Unfortunately, he's not here right now, but I will get him to do it at a later time.
I think the other thing with the menopause is also the kind of symptoms that you go through as well, apart from just, obviously, the hot flushes that everybody knows about. I was listening to a radio chat on Radio 4 last week about male and their support partners getting involved as well and being supportive of their ladies who they were married to, girlfriends or whatever, and they can understand what the girls are going through or support them in that, and that is a very, very important area.
I've got a little fan, one of these push button little fans.
Oh yes.
And when I've had my hot flush at night, my husband goes, "Come on, here's this whole thing." Yeah. So
and that's important.
It's
I think
very supportive.
I have a desk fan as well, so I put it on sort of almost.
It must be quite hard for the guys actually, because my sister-in-law has been going through the menopause for a while, and the hot flushes are horrendous. But he's kind of shared in the past just how difficult it is for him to sleep at night because it's absolutely freezing because she's so hot, and yet he's absolutely frozen because you have to adjust and accommodate what we women are going through.
The quilt goes off.
Quilt goes off.
The fan comes out.
Mystery voice.
I actually had itchy boobs.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The worst thing was, it's like, and because it's a hot flash and it's
scratch.
like, Mum, let's not wait
I can't believe.
Audience, I really wish we could get a camera on Mystery Voice because she's actually doing all the actions with what she's going through.
And I can't believe we said itchy boobs of a lunchtime, but it's fine.
Yeah.
I know. Is it okay?
You know what? We've all had an itchy boob or two.
Just say hello to a few other people, Mystery Voice.
We've had Gemini and Pravino join us.
And said hello as well. Gemini says hello, ladies. Annie says, 3 ladies, not 2. Brilliant. Lee back joining us as well. And Pravina, good to have you on board. We've got that Padman challenge now. I think we've set you that Padman challenge.
Yeah. Yes. So you
Go
guys
on, remind people.
Right. So we want you guys to share and do your own Padman challenge. #Padman challenge. Upload a photo of you holding a sanitary towel and share it onto Rupal's Chatty Women page on Facebook. Let's just get behind this whole initiative and actually show the world that periods are not taboo. We wouldn't be here if we didn't have periods, full stop. So, not that was a double pun, wasn't it? We wouldn't have periods, full stop.
Full stop,
Bit of nerd English grammar going on there. But, we would not be here if women didn't have periods. So, you know what? Join us. Go on, share your pictures before the end of the show.
Let's see if we can get at least one bloke to post a picture in the comment section with a sanitary towel.
We could get our dad to do it.
Do you reckon we could get your dad to do it before the end of the show?
I think we should,
I think you should run in, go and ask him, see if he'll do it, right?
I think
he'll
post
it. Thank you for all the love hearts and things going across.
Yeah.
If you've got a bloke there with you, let's see if you can do it. Grab a sanitary towel, rip it open, and take a photo of it and post it in the comment section with the hashtag Padman challenge. So it's PADMAN challenge. All right, all one word. Hashtag Padman challenge. We'll look for the first one. That'd be amazing, wouldn't it? If we could do that.
I was just going to say about the menopause. If that's really I didn't go on to HRT or anything like that. I'm just anti.
Gritted your teeth and
I thought I'm going to go through it. Use alternatives, and you can use alternatives.
And do they work?
Well, my biggest thing was I used to eat a lot of what do you call them? Aniseed. What's aniseed? Aniseed, not balls, but the actual
variari.
Yeah. What is that? I can't.
It's aniseed.
It's aniseed.
It is aniseed. Yeah. Aniseed in what format though? It's just the beads.
Seeds.
The seeds, yeah. Aniseed seeds, yeah. So I used to eat them all the time, and that kept me cooling.
All right, yeah.
So that's my... And what it did was get stuck in my teeth, which was a better alternative.
And there's other things as well, aren't there? Like black cohorse all sorts of other...
Girls, I mean, for periods it used to be evening primrose, things like that. So I'm not... There's a tea as well.
Seeds are supposed to help, lots of seeds, because like the oils in the seeds help too.
That's right.
It's a healthy, balanced diet.
I think if you go to the health food shops and stuff like that, you can get lots and lots of information as well.
Yeah.
We are going to be interrupted. Don't forget, we are going to be talking also about smears, cervical smears, tests, and why it is that women are embarrassed. Look, we have Rupa's dad. What's your name, Gaga?
Dad.
What's your name?
Vinod
Joshi. Vinod Bhai, just come and sit down here. This is Vinod Bhai, who is going to do the Padman challenge, all right? So we're talking about getting hold of a sanitary towel and having a picture taken with it. But if you, Vinod Bhai, can hold it up to the camera as the first bloke, that would be great. So open it. If I open this for you, right, he's going to take a photo and we're going to prove that he is not embarrassed to do this. There we go. Hold it up to the camera. Oli Baju. That way. There we go. Well done. Yay. Fantastic.
That
I am doing
the Padman challenge.
Padman challenge.
Brilliant. Thank you. Thank you, Vinod Bhai.
Where is my fee?
Typical Indian.
No fee, but thank you, Vinod Bhai. So there you go. That's what the Padman challenge is about, right?
That wasn't too painful.
Get a sanitary towel and get a picture with it. Yeah. Should we move on?
Yes. Before we move on, now having seen my dad do that, now you can understand why my brother is strong enough to be the man he is, because my dad was strong enough to be the man to allow that, and he's 81. And he was able to do the Padman challenge. So come on, guys, come on, men. If my 81-year-old dad can do it happily,
you can too.
You can too.
Love it. Loads of love hearts across the screen. If you can't get hold of a sanitary towel now, you can do it later. I want no absolutely excuses whatsoever. Bav, thank you for joining us as well. Let's talk about cervical smears, shall we?
Yes.
Right, So in my job, we're really working hard at trying to get all our ladies to come and have their smears done. We've sent out letters from our surgery. I know this is elsewhere throughout the country. Just encouraging people, please come and have your smear done. It's so important. It takes 5 minutes. There's been a lot in the press about it of late. It's... we'll do our best as nurses. We're not judging. We just want you to come so that we can get your smear done and show you that little bit of your body, your cervix, is healthy. And it's a disease that's treatable. It's not something that we have a look, there's a cervix, let's take a sample of it and say, that's nice. If there's something wrong, we can, there's treatment and it doesn't cost anything.
But women are clearly, it's been in the news again recently that women are embarrassed to do it, to have and we talked about it last year.
Yeah, we did last year.
In a slightly tongue-in-cheek way, I think...
Smear or not to smear.
I think the fact that you and I have admitted that we don't really like having it done, but we've been... Priti, you feel quite...
I'm very apprehensive about going for my smear test, I must admit, and I always have been. And I don't know whether that dates back to the nurse not doing it very comfortably or the speculums that were available weren't to a size that would fit most general sizes.
And things have moved on from that, because years ago I've been doing smears on ladies for over 25 years now, so just done a few, to say the least. And things have developed, they've changed. It used to be, people know about the metal speculums that used to be clanky and cold and horrible and things like that, where it has moved on. And
do you want to show us?
Yes, I know you've got
something I prepared earlier. So there's different sizes. So this is a small speculum.
Get it out that first. I think we're going to have lots of Russell.
Russell, sorry. So this is a small speculum.
Maybe you want to hold it up
so
to the... if you can see it.
See that?
Can you see that?
It's clear plastic. Well, this is slightly yellowy because that's the... So this is a speculum which is just gently... We use some lubrication, and then it's just gently introduced into the vagina, and then this bit here... So this doesn't all go in you, don't worry. So it just only goes into the vagina, and it's just opened up. I don't know whether people can see that. It's just opened up so that you can actually, I'll be going like that, so I can see the cervix at the base here. So it's looking through there, we look through, and then we sample the speculum. So, and that just tightens up so that it keeps it open so we can see the cervix. And the cervix is usually only sort of this size here, so the end of your nose size, and then we just take a sample from there, and it shouldn't hurt. I always say to people, it's a bit of a strange sensation, but it shouldn't hurt. And there's different sizes of speculums, so I'm just brought that one. I don't want to scare people, but they're plastic. They're not plastic round.
And it's fairly simple.
No, I think it's
simple
really nice.
It takes less
good
than
size.
5 minutes, and that just opens up.
If you're using Tampax, I mean, it is the size of a large Tampax, and I think, like you said previously, it may not be the speculum, it could be when they're taking a sample that maybe the nurse has been heavy-handed, so you've not had a great experience.
It shouldn't hurt. For some women, yes, they're quite tense, and we try and make you feel a bit more relaxed. We're not judging with the nurses, we're not going there, oh my goodness, this woman's not tidied up her bush, she's not had a shave, and she's not shaved her legs, and she's kept her socks on. We don't think all these things at all. We're just pleased that somebody's come to have had their smear done.
Why is it important to do so?
Yeah.
Because cervical cancer is a real problem, and with the smears, if you come, you can have your cervix. I explain to the ladies that we're checking to see that your cervix, that bottom bit of your womb, is healthy. And then if there is a problem, there's treatment. It's treatment that's available. It's a completely curable disease. And often it's when people don't come, it's left and it's left and it's left. And when they do come, it's gone, too
and
far.
I would stress that, and I would back that up. Even having been very apprehensive initially to go, I would say, right, every 5 years I'm going to go for my smear test regardless, because if you catch it early enough, at least it's treatable.
Yeah.
When was the last time you went?
That's a good question. I don't know.
So
I will have to speak to my surgery to find
out.
out.
But in reality, do you think, it's kind of made you stop and thinking, actually, I really should go?
Over the last so many years. And I think I did go on time last time they called me. So I'm sure I've been in the time frame.
Yeah,
women definitely.
Are invited to come. Women are invited to come for their first smear when they're about 24 and a half. And then it's every 3 years, if everything's all nice and normal, and up till 50. And once you hit the age of 50, they go to 5 years. But of course, if you've had one at 49, you might have it done 3 years
after. Can I say that at 24 now? At 24, the GP I had, when I asked about smear tests, turned around and said to me, no, you're not married, you don't have to have a smear test. So, yes,
there's a whole other scenario, isn't it?
The whole screening program now has changed. I mean, it used to be a bit more hit and miss back then.
Back then, 20 odd years.
20 odd years, yes.
Do you really... I know that the whole system has changed.
Yes.
But do you think the mindset of certain clinical practitioners has changed? Because you've still got the people who were practising 24 years ago are still potentially practising now. So
no, we have there's training, there's set training that we have to go on updates for smear takers. And if somebody's not doing that many, then they don't do smears anymore.
You say with the smear takers, so would it be, for example, at your practice, obviously you're doing the smear test.
Yes.
Would it be that you would then control, the patients, and you would be responsible for getting up?
It's a national national screening program. So your letter of invitation comes from the national screening department, and then your results come from them as well. But we've got a list of ladies who haven't come, so the surgery has a responsibility as well to chase people up if they've been, if they've not attended or what have you.
So that then takes away that whole error of certain clinicians telling young girls, oh, well, you're not married, so you don't need to worry about it.
No, it's not that.
It's that whole, again, it could just potentially be culturally, it could be any number of reasons.
Yeah.
So even with the national screening in place and surgeries writing to people, there could be a whole plethora of reasons why women are not having their smear test.
Yeah.
It could be that, well, actually, that part is private.
Yeah.
It's only there for my husband, or it's a big shame for I'm not allowed to let anyone else. So there are so many different things. So having a national register, that doesn't mean that women are still going to come and do it,
because it's voluntary, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's voluntary. You don't
and
have to have it.
No, you
but
can't.
look, we're running out of time, Linda.
Yeah.
So very quickly, your message to anyone, to women, for whatever reason, are not going for their cervical smear tests. What would your message be? Look into the camera and tell them.
Please, if you've not had a smear, please go and have it done, or at least go and book an appointment, go and talk to the nurse, and they'll be able to explain it, talk you through it, and explain it. As I've already said, you won't be forced to have it, and just go and meet your practice nurse. Go and meet the nurse who's going to do it, who can reassure you and talk you through it. And then, when you feel comfortable, have your smear test done. Then you know that bit of your body is healthy. If it's not, treatment is available. So please, have your smear done.
Look, thank you so much for your company today. We've been talking about the menopause. What else have we talked about? We talked about smear tests and the Padman challenge. Tina, Daksha, Bav and Rabia, who were all watching at some stage or another, thank you for doing so. We also talked about the Padman challenge. It's based on a film, a true story of a man who invented a cheap way of creating sanitary towels and making them available to women in India, across India, but also further afield. The film's coming out very, very soon. And part of the challenge that he's asking celebrities and everybody else, you and me, plus the blokes, to get a sanitary towel like this and take a picture of it and not be ashamed to talk about it. Take a picture like this.
Let's spread the word.
Then thank you for all the messages. Take a sanitary towel. It's not taboo. It's not dirty.
I know. Forget Red Bull.
Lots of product placement here, none of which we agree to. But look, it is not embarrassing. Blokes, don't be embarrassed to talk about this with your other halves and whatever else. We're trying to make a difference. Then thank you as well, Benita, Arabia. Thank you.
Okay,
We will see you again in a couple of weeks' time.
Thanks for joining us. Bye.